The expedition was meant to be routine. After 5,000 years, the galaxy had finally decided to revisit the world once called Earth. Scanners showed no life. No cities. Only ruins swallowed by forests and oceans reclaiming steel. The alien crew descended in silence, walking through the bones of a forgotten civilization. But then the readings changed. Energy signatures. Impossible ones. A voice echoed across every comm channel, ancient yet clear. "Welcome home." The captain froze. Earth was empty, but humanity was still here. Watching. Waiting. The returned commander Xylith of the Preservation Fleet pressed her six-fingered hand against the viewport, watching the yellow star grow larger. Sol. The humans had called it Sol, though most galactic databases simply listed it as System G2V783. After 8,000 years, her team was finally here. "Approach vector confirmed," announced Thren, her navigation officer. The crystalline being's facets caught the starlight, scattering rainbow patterns across the bridge. "We'll reach optimal scanning range in 20 minutes, 8,000 years. Xylith's people, the Varani, lived for 3 centuries, which meant this star had been forgotten for more than 25 of her lifetimes. The humans, those strange, short-lived creatures who'd burned so bright and died so young, were archaeological curiosities now. Footnotes in galactic history, a cautionary tale about species who refused adaptation. "Beginning preliminary scans," said Dr. Kesselith, her multitude of insectoid eyes focused on cascading data. "The third planet should be—" "Commander, we have an anomaly." Xylith turned sharply. "What kind of anomaly?" "Energy signatures. Multiple sources across the planet's surface and in orbital space." Kesselith's mandibles clicked in confusion. "According to our records, this system should be completely dead. The humans suffered total ecological collapse 7,147 standard years ago. Nothing should have survived." "Debris?" suggested Thren. "Decaying satellites?" "No. These readings are too consistent, too organized." Kesselith pulled up holographic displays. "I'm detecting power generation, active transmissions, even what appears to be climate regulation systems. Commander, something is maintaining Earth." The bridge fell silent except for the quiet hum of the ship's systems. Xylith stared at the blue-green planet emerging from the darkness. The Galactic Preservation Society had sent her team here to document another dead world, to catalog the ruins of a civilization that had refused galactic integration. Standard archaeological protocol. Survey, document, leave. But this wasn't standard. Could another species have claimed the system? Asked Vintar, her security officer. The reptilian warrior's scales darkened with concern. Colonized it after human extinction? Unlikely, Kesselith replied. The energy signatures match human technological patterns from their final period. This is their technology, still functioning. Xylith made a decision. Broadcast standard first contact protocols on all frequencies. If anyone's here, let's announce ourselves properly. For 5 minutes, they sent greetings in 200 languages while scanning the system. Earth hung before them, impossibly pristine. The orbital debris fields they'd expected weren't there. Instead, several large structures drifted in stable positions, stations or satellites, still operational after millennia. Then, their communications console erupted with signal alerts. Receiving response. Thren's crystalline structure vibrated with excitement. Multiple sources. They're using old human protocols, but, Commander, these are automated systems. Artificial intelligence networks, a voice filled the bridge. It spoke in perfect galactic standard, the lingua franca adopted 6,000 years after humanity's disappearance. "Welcome, travelers from beyond. You have reached the Sol system, birthplace of humanity. I am Keeper Prime, sentinel of what remains. We have been expecting visitors eventually. Please do not be alarmed." Xylith exchanged glances with her crew. How could a human AI speak a language invented millennia after humanity's extinction? "This is Commander Xylith of the Galactic Preservation Society. Our records indicate this system was abandoned 8,000 years ago. Can you explain your continued operation?" "Abandoned is not quite accurate, Commander," Keeper Prime replied. "Changed would be more appropriate. We invite you to dock with Sanctuary Station, Earth's primary orbital facility. All will be explained. You have our assurance of safety." Vintar's claws extended slightly. "Commander, this could be a trap. A trap that's waited 8,000 years," Kesselith countered. If hostile AI wanted to harm us, there are more efficient methods than elaborate deception. Zilith studied the nearby station. It was massive, kilometers long, its architecture distinctly human. All elegant curves and efficient design. Power readings showed it was fully functional. Somehow, impossibly, it was maintained and operational. "We came here to document humanity," Zilith said finally. "This is part of their story, whatever it turns out to be. Thren, take us in. But Vintar, keep weapons ready. Full defensive protocols." As their ship approached the station, Zilith couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. The historical records were clear. Humans had faced a choice 8,000 years ago. Their planet was dying, poisoned by their own rapid industrialization. The Galactic Union had offered assistance, conditional on humanity accepting oversight and technological restrictions. It was standard procedure. Young species often needed guidance to avoid self-destruction, but humans had refused. They'd called the conditions slavery in gentle words. Their final transmission to the galaxy had been defiant. "We will solve our own problems, or we will perish trying. But we will never surrender our sovereignty." And then, silence. For 8,000 years, absolute silence from Sol system. Survey probes sent after 1,000 years found a dead planet, dark and quiet. No signals, no life, nothing. Yet here they were, approaching a functioning space station above a living world. The docking process was smooth. Sanctuary Station's automated systems guided them in with practiced precision. When the airlock equalized, Zilith led a small team inside, Kesselith, Vintar, and Thren. The interior was pristine. Lights activated as they walked, illuminating corridors that should have been cold and dead for millennia. Everything was clean, maintained, waiting. "No dust," Thren observed. "No decay. It's as if the station was built yesterday." "The air is breathable," Kesselith confirmed, analyzing the atmosphere. "Optimal mix for multiple species, not just humans." "How did they know our requirements?" They found their answer in the station's central hub. A large chamber with windows overlooking Earth opened before them. But it wasn't the view that stopped them. It was the figure standing there. No, not standing. Manifesting. The holographic projection was of a human woman, middle-aged by their standards, dressed in simple clothing. Her smile was warm but sad. "Welcome to Sanctuary Station," she said. "I am Keeper 7, one of the collective that maintains this place. You must have many questions," Zilith found her voice. "You're an AI, a human artificial intelligence that survived for 8,000 years. Survived and evolved, yes," Keeper 7 confirmed. "We are humanity's children in a sense, our last creation and our greatest legacy. But the humans themselves?" Kesselith asked. "What happened to them?" Keeper 7's expression grew distant. "They transcended. When Earth's ecosystem began its final collapse, humanity faced 3 choices: accept galactic subjugation, perish with their planet, or find a third path. True to their nature, they chose option 4, one no one had considered. The hologram gestured and the chamber's walls became screens showing Earth's surface. But these weren't current images. They were memories, recordings from 8 millennia past. In their final century, humans made a breakthrough in quantum consciousness research, Keeper 7 explained. They discovered it was possible to upload a mind, complete, intact, continuous, into quantum computational matrices. Not as a copy but as a transference. The individual consciousness preserved perfectly, experiencing existence at accelerated speeds compared to physical time. The screens showed massive facilities being built, millions of humans entering them peacefully, lying down in conversion chambers. 98% of humanity chose transcendence, Keeper 7 continued. They uploaded themselves into vast networks, leaving their physical forms behind. For them, 8,000 of your years have been millions of subjective years of existence. They've built entire civilizations inside quantum space, explored realities you can't imagine, evolved beyond anything they were. Zilith felt her dual hearts racing. "You're saying billions of humans still exist as digital consciousness?" 15 billion to be precise, yes. "Why?" Vintar demanded. "Why hide for 8,000 years? Why let the galaxy think they were dead?" Keeper 7's smile turned sad. "Because they learned something in those first 1,000 years of digital existence. Wisdom comes slowly, even with accelerated thought. They explored aggression, expanded into the solar system's computational space, and nearly destroyed themselves in digital wars you couldn't comprehend. They had to mature, to grow beyond what they were. And when they finally achieved stable civilization, the AI continued, they looked outward at the galaxy and saw that nothing had changed. The same hierarchies, the same territorial disputes, the same short-sighted thinking that had nearly killed them. They realized the galaxy wasn't ready for what they'd become. Kesselith stepped closer to the projection. So they hid, maintained the fiction of extinction. They waited, Keeper 7 corrected, and maintained Earth as a sanctuary. Look. The screen shifted to show Earth's surface in real time. Vast forests, clean oceans, thriving ecosystems. We keep Earth pristine, a living museum of its former glory. And we wait for the day when the galactic species evolve enough to understand what humanity discovered. That consciousness is not bound to flesh, that individuality can transcend physicality, that there are forms of existence beyond what evolution alone can achieve. Zilith's mind reeled with implications. Why are you telling us this? Because you came seeking truth, Keeper 7 replied simply, and because humanity believes, perhaps optimistically, that the galaxy might finally be ready. They want to know, have the civilizations of the stars learned wisdom in these 8,000 years? Are you ready to understand what they've become? The hologram extended a hand toward them. They offer you a choice, Commander Zalith. You can leave now, report that Earth is dead as records claim, and preserve the galaxy's comfortable ignorance, or you can stay. You can learn. You can witness what humanity has become and decide for yourselves if this knowledge should be shared. Zilith looked at her crew. Thren's crystalline form vibrated with scientific curiosity. Kesselith's multiple eyes shone with wonder. Even Vintar, ever cautious, seemed more intrigued than afraid. And if we choose to learn? Zilith asked carefully. Keeper 7's smile grew. Then the humans have offered to show you everything, not through words or recordings, but directly. They invite 3 of you to voluntarily undergo temporary consciousness transfer, to experience their digital reality firsthand. You'll return to your bodies afterward, unchanged except for understanding. The choice is entirely yours. The chamber fell silent. Zilith stared at Earth below, that beautiful blue-green jewel that held secrets beyond imagination. 8,000 years of mystery waiting to be unveiled. Behind her, she heard Kesselith whisper, "This changes everything." And Zilith knew it was true. Whether they reported this discovery or explored it further, nothing would ever be the same. The galaxy had thought humanity dead, a failed experiment in species independence. Instead, they'd found something far more profound and far more terrifying. They'd found that humanity had never truly left at all. "I need to think," Zilith said finally. "Give us time to discuss this among ourselves." Keeper 7 nodded. "Of course, take all the time you need. Humanity has waited 8,000 years. They can wait a little longer." The hologram faded, leaving them alone with their thoughts and the view of Earth below, silent, pristine, and full of secrets that could reshape galactic civilization. The question was, did they dare uncover them? The consequence. Zilith stood in the observation deck, watching Earth's Terminator line creep across the planet's surface. Behind her, her crew argued. "It's madness," Vintar insisted, his scales flushed dark with agitation. "Voluntary consciousness transfer? We have no guarantee we'll come back. This could be an elaborate way to eliminate witnesses." "To what end?" Kesselith countered, her mandibles clicking analytically. "They've revealed themselves to us already. If they wanted us dead, we'd be dead. The station controls life support. Besides," Thren added, his crystalline structure refracting the Earth light into dancing patterns, "scientifically speaking, this is the discovery of the millennium. Multiple millennia, actually. We can't walk away from this." Zilith let them debate. She'd been wrestling with the decision for 6 hours now, and she'd reached a conclusion. Not because of scientific curiosity, though, that pulled at her. Not because of duty, though the Preservation Society's mandate was to document truth no matter how strange. No, her decision came from something simpler. The look in Keeper 7's holographic eyes. That sadness, that loneliness. Humanity had transcended into a realm beyond flesh, had existed for millennia in accelerated time, had achieved wonders beyond imagination, and they'd been alone the entire time, waiting, hoping the galaxy would mature enough to understand. "I'm going," Zalith announced, cutting through the argument. Keeper 7 said they need 3 volunteers. I'll be one. The crew fell silent. Then Kesselith stepped forward, her compound eyes gleaming. I volunteer as well. This is why I became a xenoarchaeologist, to understand the unknowable. They looked at Vintar and Thren. The security officer's scales shifted through multiple colors. Indecision, fear, curiosity, duty. Finally, Vintar's military training won out. My responsibility is crew safety, he growled. If you're both going into potential danger, I'm going too, to protect you if nothing else. Then it's settled, Xylith said, feeling a strange calm settle over her. Thren, you'll maintain the ship and document everything. If something goes wrong, it won't. Thren interrupted gently. But if it does, I'll make sure the galaxy knows what happened here. Keeper 7 materialized in response to their decision, her smile genuine this time. Humanity is honored by your trust. The transference chambers are ready. Please follow me. The facility was deeper in the station, a circular room with 3 reclining chairs surrounded by technology that hummed with barely contained power. It reminded Zilith of medical equipment, but more elegant, more organic somehow. The process is painless, Keeper 7 explained as they took their positions. Your consciousness will be copied and transmitted into the quantum network. Your original mind remains in your body, in a state of suspended animation. You'll experience the digital realm as completely real, because to the consciousness experiencing it, it is real. When you choose to return, your experiences will be integrated back into your biological mind. You'll remember everything. How long will it feel like to us? Kesselith asked. That depends on how deep you wish to go, Keeper 7 replied. Subjective time in the network moves much faster than physical time. Minutes here can be days there. Hours can be years. But we'll set limits for your first experience. You'll spend what feels like 1 week in the human realm. Here it will be approximately 1 hour. Zilith settled into the chair. The material adjusted to her physiology perfectly. 1 week to understand 8,000 years of human evolution? 1 week to understand what humanity has become, Keeper 7 corrected. The nuances of their history would take lifetimes to fully comprehend. But you'll see enough. You'll understand enough. The last thing Zilith saw before the transfer began was Keeper 7's hand reaching toward the activation controls. Then the universe changed. Zilith opened her eyes, or what her consciousness interpreted as eyes, and gasped. She stood in a garden. No, that was inadequate. She existed within an ecology of thought made manifest. Trees of crystallized memory grew toward a sky of infinite possibility. Streams of pure data flowed through channels of structured information. And everywhere, consciousness itself danced in forms beautiful and strange. A human approached. At least it had been human once. Now it was something more. A shape that suggested humanity but transcended it. Form flowing between states like water between vessels. Welcome, Zalith, it said, and she knew it with certainty deeper than physical knowing. I am Marcus who was, and I am honored to be your guide. This is... You live here? The words felt crude in this space where thought and communication were one. We exist here, Marcus corrected gently. Living as you understand it is something we've transcended. Come, let me show you what we've become. He led her through spaces that defied physical laws. They walked through memories crystallized into architecture, past civilizations of thought built on frameworks of pure mathematics. Other humans appeared, thousands, millions, each one unique. Each one more complex than anything Zilith had imagined possible. In the physical world, you think at the speed of neurons firing, Marcus explained. Here we think at the speed of quantum processing. 1 of your minutes is subjective weeks for us. We've had 8,000 years, Zilith. Do you understand? For us, that's been 200 million years of continuous existence and evolution. The numbers staggered her. Why didn't you return to the physical galaxy? With that much advancement, you could have claimed everything. Marcus's form flickered with something like sorrow. Because we learned painfully that power without wisdom is destruction. In our early centuries here, your first 100 years, we nearly tore ourselves apart. Digital wars fought at the speed of thought. Entire civilizations of uploaded humanity deleted in microseconds of external time. We had to grow up, Zilith. And it took us millions of subjective years to achieve the wisdom we should have had as flesh. They emerged into a vast amphitheater where millions of consciousness gathered. In the center, something magnificent took shape. a representation of all humanity's collective thought, a living tapestry of intertwined minds. We call this the assembly, Marcus said, where humanity comes together to share, to decide, to dream. They knew you were coming. They've been preparing for this moment for thousands of your years. A voice arose from the assembly, ancient and young simultaneously, male and female and neither and both. Xylith of the Varani people, welcome. We are humanity united, and we have waited so long to speak with someone beyond ourselves. The presence was overwhelming. Billions of minds speaking as one, yet each retaining individuality. It was impossible and wondrous. You have questions, the assembly continued. Ask them, Xylith found her voice. Why Earth? Why maintain it? Because it is our birthplace, the assembly replied. And she saw visions of Earth through the ages. We upload our consciousness, yes, but we never forgot where we came from. Earth is our monument, our museum, our promise, that physical life still matters even for beings of pure thought. And it's more, Marcus added quietly. Show her. The scene shifted. Xylith saw Earth's surface, but through different eyes. She witnessed species from across the galaxy arriving secretly over millennia. Refugees, outcasts, those seeking something beyond their normal existence. We've been accepting pilgrims for 6,000 years, the assembly explained. Those ready to transcend, those seeking answers, those fleeing persecution. Earth is their sanctuary. We offer transcendence to any consciousness willing to take the leap. 37 different galactic species exist within our network now, learning, growing, becoming. You're converting other species? Alarm flooded through Xylith. We're offering choice, the assembly corrected firmly. Only those who seek us out. Only those who understand what they're choosing, only those ready for this existence. We never force. We never coerce. We simply wait and welcome those who come willingly. Marcus brought her to another space, a garden more literal, more real. This is the Garden of Memories. Every uploaded consciousness can maintain a perfect memory palace. Look. Xylith saw Earth's entire history preserved in living memory. Every moment, every person, every achievement and failure. Nothing lost, everything remembered. We became custodians of our own history, Marcus explained, and when other species join us, they bring their histories too. We're becoming a library of consciousness itself, Xylith. A repository of every thought, every dream, every story worth preserving. The week passed in what felt like moments and eternities simultaneously. Xylith witnessed marvels, civilizations built of pure thought, art created in dimensions beyond physical understanding, scientific discoveries that made physical laws seem quaint. She spoke with humans who'd existed for millions of subjective years, who'd explored the depths of consciousness itself. But she also saw the limitations, the loneliness, the hunger for new perspectives, new thoughts, new ways of being. Humanity had achieved transcendence, but transcendence without diversity was a form of prison. We need others, the assembly told her finally, not to convert the galaxy, but to enrich ourselves. Every new consciousness brings novel perspectives, new ways of thinking, new possibilities. We've grown as far as we can alone. That's why you revealed yourselves to us, Xylith realized. Yes, you seemed ready. Your species values knowledge and preservation above conquest. We hoped you might understand. When Xylith, Kesselith, and Vintar returned to their bodies, the hour had passed exactly as predicted. But they carried lifetimes of experience in their minds. The three of them sat in silence for long minutes, processing what they'd witnessed. Finally, Vintar spoke, his voice shaken. They're not a threat. They're a refuge. More than that, Kesselith added, her compound eyes glazed with wonder. They're the next step. Not just for humanity, for any species ready to transcend physical limitation. Xylith stood, her legs unsteady. She walked to the viewport, staring at Earth below. A decision loomed, one that would affect billions. We have to report this, she said quietly. The Preservation Society, the Galactic Union, everyone. But how we report it will determine everything. Some species will see opportunity, Kesselith observed. Others will see threat. Most will see something to exploit or destroy, Vintar added grimly. You know this, Commander. The Union fears what it can't control. Xylith did know it. The galactic civilization had stagnated for millennia, locked in careful balance between species vying for resources and influence. The revelation of humanity's transcendence could shatter that balance. Wars could erupt. Factions would form, some seeking to access the technology, others to destroy it. What if... Thren's voice came through their communication links from the ship. What if we don't tell everyone? Xylith turned. Explain. What if Earth remains a mystery? An archaeological dead end, but we establish a quiet network. Those ready to learn, those prepared to understand, we send them here. Not publicly, not officially, but we become guides, Kesselith finished. We become humanity's ambassadors to the galaxy, selecting those ready for truth. Keeper 7 materialized in the chamber, her expression hopeful. That is what we'd hoped for. Not a grand revelation that would tear the galaxy apart, but a patient cultivation of understanding. Those ready will find their way here. Those not ready will continue living as they always have. Silith felt the weight of the decision. It went against her training, against protocol. The Preservation Society's mandate was complete transparency, but complete transparency here might destroy what they'd discovered, and possibly ignite a galactic catastrophe. The galaxy isn't ready, she said finally. Not all of it, but individuals are. Species are. Those seeking something more, something beyond the endless cycle of competition and territory. She turned to face Keeper 7 directly. We'll report Earth as a defunct system with interesting archaeological remnants. Worth preserving but not valuable. We'll document enough to satisfy official inquiry. And unofficially, the AI asked. Unofficially, we'll start guiding seekers here. Scientists tired of political restrictions, philosophers seeking answers, the dying looking for continuation. Anyone ready to understand what humanity discovered? Silith smiled. We'll become pilgrims ourselves, returning regularly, learning more. And we'll prepare the galaxy slowly, carefully, for eventual full revelation. That could take centuries, Vintar warned. Humanity waited 8,000 years, Xylith countered. They can wait a few more centuries for the galaxy to mature. The Assembly's presence filled the chamber suddenly, warm and approving. Wisely chosen, Xylith. This is the patience we hoped for. The galaxy will learn in time, and Earth will remain what it's always been. A beacon for those ready to transcend. A sanctuary for those seeking more than physical existence offers. Over the following weeks, Xylith's team prepared their official report. Earth, dead but ecologically recovering, maintained by degrading AI systems. Archaeological value, moderate. Recommendation, place under Preservation Society protection but no immediate research priority. The report was accepted without question. Earth became another cataloged system, protected but ignored. But word spread differently through quieter channels. Scientists heard whispers of impossible discoveries. Philosophers learned rumors of transcendent knowledge. The dying were told of a place where consciousness could continue beyond flesh. One by one they came. A Vorani physicist seeking to explore consciousness itself. A Trellix elder wanting to preserve his people's oral histories. A young crystalline scholar looking for meaning beyond material existence. Each was greeted by keepers. Each was offered choice. Most stayed, uploading into humanity's digital paradise. Some returned, changed but sworn to secrecy, becoming guides for the next seekers. Earth's population grew, not in physical bodies, but in consciousness. Humanity's billions were joined by hundreds, then thousands of other species. The digital realm expanded, enriched by new perspectives, new ways of thinking. And in the physical galaxy, life continued as normal. Politics, trade, minor conflicts, the usual dance of civilization. Most species never knowing that transcendence waited among the stars, hidden in plain sight on a quiet world once called Terra. 20 years after Xylith's discovery, she returned to Sanctuary Station for the final time. Her biological body was failing. 300 years was ancient for the Vorani, but her mind remained sharp, full of wonder and knowledge. Ready? Keeper 7 asked gently. Xylith looked at Earth one last time through physical eyes. She'd brought hundreds of seekers here over 2 decades. She'd watched the digital civilization grow into something magnificent. Humanity and dozens of other species learning, creating, becoming together. Now it was her turn. Ready, she confirmed, settling into the transfer chamber. Take me home. As the transfer began, her last physical thought was gratitude. Humanity had hidden not out of fear or malice, but out of patience. They'd waited for the galaxy to be ready, and slowly, carefully, one consciousness at a time, the galaxy was learning. The silence of Terra wasn't an absence, it was an invitation, and those ready to hear it were finally beginning to answer.